After Shem, the chosen came through Arphaxad, because Shem had 5 sons. So the chosen will be through Arphaxad, and that would lead all the way up to, Eber, and then eventually Peleg, then Terah, which was Abraham's father. They were Gentiles. They were the Gentiles at that time. Yeah.
Any of the chapter in Genesis, they go like Genesis 10?
Yeah.
It goes to all like the whole,
Yeah.
Okay.
In 6, go to 6 now?
I think it was 6.
Genesis 6:1, it says, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose."
Yep, and that's always been a downfall of our people, you know what I'm saying, dealing with other nations. Like basically when you can dealing with other women is not an issue, but when you take on their customs, that's where the issue comes in. And we didn't hold to that standard that we father set us up to do.
Right. What was another notable lineage that was on the earth at this time?
At this time?
Yeah.
It was the sons of man, sons of the wicked, the sons of God, which is like chosen lineage, the sons of man and the sons of the wicked. Right,
and specific by name another nation that will be on the earth at the same time right now.
Right now, let's see.
At this time. He said it.
Oh,
Cain. Yeah. The Cain's lineage was on the earth at this time. So if you paint a picture, Jake was scattered among these other nations in Cain's lineage and started living like them, and the same thing that's happening through Esau. Yeah.
Genesis 5 and verse 2 again. It says, I might as well start from the top again. Genesis 6:1, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years."
Now break down verse 2.
Oh, verse 2? Yep.
Yeah.
So basically it says,
Reading it.
yep, I'm reading it.
Verse 2, "That the sons of God saw the daughters of men."
So sons of God saw the daughters of men, so that was those other nations.
Right.
They weren't come from the lineage of Cain.
Right.
And they basically joined into their customs. They partook in those different heathenistic ways.
Right.
Versus the ways that we father said us to have.
Right. And we've seen this all throughout Israel. This is we always have the example of Jake is in specific marrying with the women, because they're supposed to be concubines.
Right.
When you marry with someone, you join in houses. So Jake was joining the Lord with idols and allowing all of this crap. The same thing. Solomon did it.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say Solomon was the biggest example.
Yeah.
Because with him, that's what he was doing.
Right.
After he got older, he got weaker. And when he was a younger age, he was more austere with his women. Like, no, I'm not dealing with you on that level.
Yeah.
But he was still having marriage covenants with his women.
Tripping.
Something he wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
Hey, can I pull this real quick? Hey, this is commentary from Robert Jameson. It says, "The sons of God saw the daughters of men." It says, "By the former, it meant the family of Seth, who were professedly religious." It says, by the latter, the descendants of Apostle Cain mixed marriages between parties of opposite principles and practice were necessarily the source of extensive corruption. It says, "The women religious themselves would as wives and mother erect an influence fatal to the existence of religion in their households, and consequently the people of the later age sank into low depravity." I think I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like the, you know what I'm saying, they was going into the woman. Yeah. So they, you know how Jake get with the woman, you know what I'm saying? She bring her idols in, like what it said Solomon. You know what I'm saying? Even now when you look at it, the woman is who drags the man to church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, Jacob don't want to go to church. It's always he falling out the woman.
Right.
You see?
So the way Moses wrote this was parabolic to where you would have to apply the spirit, put yourself in the story, and now you get it, Because why would Genesis 5 go into the lineage of the sons of God, and then it just jumped to some reptile people?
Big ass giant walking around. Where they at now?
They moved the hell out of the goalposts on that one.
Man. This is a precept basically proving, you know what I'm saying, that we're not supposed to partake in those different ways because Lord gave us high holy days and different ways to worship. You know, we had different high holy days, we had different things we do of going to altars, but that we were doing for other nations, for other gods. And that basically led to, like, basically we do a marriage, it's a covenant agreement. So in order for a lot of those nations for us to be in agreement with them, they want us to partake in those type of ways and customs that they did things, which was going against them.
Jeremiah 10:2, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them."
Yep, and it means we're not to partake in their ways. Their ways are likened to the ways of man, versus we were given the ways of the Heavenly Father. Be it through Adam, and then our lineage going getting passed on down. And that's basically what led to us being in the state we're in right now. Yeah.
That was all.
Well, I was just gonna say, it says in Psalms that the Lord gave, stone, wood, and stones for the heathen worship. But we were supposed to serve the one true power, which is in heaven, the Heavenly Father, Yahawashi, Rawchaa. That's all I had to say.
Okay. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 2, it says that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
Yeah, so basically, Jake, as they are now, the sons of God, they were into all these different women, and they were like that back then. But the going off was because of following the ways of the heathen. Those are ways of men.
It says, "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he it's like it. My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years."
Basically, the time period was living, how long we live, it would go down, and basically, the Heavenly Father was saying that we was basically going off. He was notifying that we were, we was following, we were transgression, which was going to lead to, the Lord bringing judgment on us.
Right, and also that's talking about 120 years literal that the Lord gave Noah to preach, and that the people had to repent. That was that grace period, because men lived longer. That we did get weaker and weaker and weaker, but men lived longer than 120 years after this point. All right, but it did mark an age of like decline. Yeah. Yeah, we die like man. So Noah preached over 100 and some years.
Crazy. That's hard. Hey, yo. That's 120 years worth of hell you catching in the truth.
Right, but at the same time, he's witnessing the same thing we're witnessing while we're building. Like Jake is gone.
Yeah. His perception of time is different than ours, though.
Yeah.
Also, a good chapter to read along with this is 2nd Esdras 3. It goes into this it takes you through the whole story that you were reading in Genesis 6.
You want me to grab it?
Yeah, you can get it if you want to. Yeah.
You already have it.
You did listen to that. Did you know they got more?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Start at 5. You just read fast and we'll get to the points.
It's 2nd Esdras 3 and verse 5. And gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. Verse 6. And thou leadest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. And immediately thou appointest death in him, in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will.
And every people walked after their own will. You see? That's the same as Adam's lineage walked after their own will. That's the sons of God. Right there. You got it. And you could break it down as you go ahead.
Verse 8 again. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments.
Yep, and the commandments was basically what the Lord directed us to do. It was basically it wasn't as it is now. It was more so the moral sense than it is now.
Right.
So that's basically the Lord gave us a command on what He wants us to direct ourselves, and we wasn't doing it.
Right.
Like we were going after the ways of basically those ways of man, which is the ways of flesh.
Right.
Verse 9, and again in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyest them. And it came to pass.
And nowhere does it mention this reptile people. It's talking about the sons of Adam.
If that was that big of a deal, that would be in there. Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
Verse 10, and it came to pass every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these.
Yep. So that's basically why the Lord just basically reset everything. Like He's getting ready to do now, but ultimately, He's gonna basically have the whole everybody be governed by the elect. Starting with House of David, He's gonna have us govern this whole world all over again.
Right.
With Yahawashi.
And that's another death has to come to the earth. You know why? Because the wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
Right.
Like it was then that it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Read that next verse.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, one of them that thou leftest, namely Noah.
So Noah was a lizard man too?
Makes no sense.
Right. Indicated he's a son of God. Yeah.
Verse 11 again. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household,
Remnant. Yeah.
of whom came all righteous men.
Righteous men.
Beautiful.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all know lizards can swim in water too, right?
Yeah, so you can go back to Genesis. And you keep reading that chapter on down, it's a bad chapter.
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also his flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants.
Now you got to make that point. Now read verse 3 again, because what could you use that point to crush these arguments? There's a point right there. Read it.
It says, and the Lord says, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh.
So wait a minute.
That tells you.
These are men.
Yep.
Because they're flesh, because they're being moved by the deeds of the flesh. Men, flesh. It's saying, you got it, bro.
This is angels neither married nor given in marriage, so you just don't do that.
Right.
Yeah. They also 1 Corinthians 15. The
I
was waiting on
that. 1 Corinthians 15 and 39, it says, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
So basically, everything has a certain flesh. So basically, there wasn't no giant angels going around popping people as that false doctrine that they have going out, that false teaching.
Verse 40, there also are celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
And basically, there's a different glory between an angelic body versus a regular human body. An angel is not formed to be able to have sex with a person that's a human.
Right. It doesn't make sense. Angels don't think about sex. That's not the purpose of sex is to produce seed on earth. That's a function of human beings.
Yes, just look more. I think it's when it says heavenly, and then
Yeah, I can keep
That's
you did jump. Well, we get the point though. It basically goes to how it's like there's a heavenly, and then there's a heavenly glory, and then there's glory to other regular flesh. We go like Genesis 6. For the sake of time. All kinds of good.
Genesis 6
Verse 4.
and verse 4, it says, there were giants in the earth in those days.
Yeah, but giant goes into the word Nephilim, which means fallen ones, which shows the fall of the sons of God. Because we were supposed to be like this high level people, but we was following the ways of man, which were low level people. So basically, it also shows that we were exalted as well, men of renown. You gotta continue.
Now, whenever you bring this out, write these precepts down. Go to the Apocrypha and type in giants. This you always got to do this. You must have these precepts. You must have these precepts. And read the precepts. Start at Sirach 16.
I got it. This is Sirach 16 and verse 7. And it reads, "He was not pacified toward the old giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness."
Who fell away in the strength of their foolishness.
Yep, somebody that's a fool means somebody that's without understanding.
Right.
Oh, I ain't got nothing but some more. This is Barak chapter 3, verse 26. It says, there were the giants famous from the beginning that were of so great stature and so expert in war.
Mm.
That shows basically that they were high level people.
Right.
Just like into isn't it the book of Numbers?
Mm.
He's banned from Rashad, ain't that?
Can I read some of your men of renown here? This here says, what is a man of renown? It is a compliment or an insult to be identified as a man of renown. Who are the men of renown in our culture? These are the sports stars, movie stars, musicians, the rich. To the lesser extent, they may be our national leaders.
Sirach 44. You get famous men here said they were musicians.
Those are men of
Stature.
Famous from the beginning.
Right. That's what Shem means. The name Shem, it means renown. It means You know,
Reputation will come along with
Yeah. Name.
Name popping, yeah.
Yep. Another chapter is Wisdom of Solomon 14. It goes into this whole history. If y'all, you don't have to get it now, but it brings up the giants as well. I'll get it. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 6. It says, "For in the old time also, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by the hand escaped in a weak vessel and left to ages, all ages a seed of generation." That's speaking of the boat, basically, but they perished, the old giants, the men of renown, they fell.
Sons of God
They perished, and then ultimately the Lord saved, the legacy of righteousness through Noah.
Also, too, if I may add on to that point, another precept is when you read in Psalm 82. It says, "For the Lord pretty much said that ye are God, but ye shall fall by the sons of men." And when you get that word "fall" in the Hebrew, it's fall. It's the same word for giants in Genesis 6.
That's right.
Hey, if I can add real quick too, when you, like you said, that Hebrew word for giants, when you actually go into it, and you go into the interlinear, it says giant, large in body, but this is incorrect, for it means excellent, noble, or skillful.
Wow. Where's that at?
It's that's
Blue letter?
Yeah, blue letter. Interlinear.
Oh, shit.
Hey, it makes me think of 1 Corinthians 1, where the Apostle Paul says, "Not many wise men and such were called." You know what I'm saying? So one to put you in the mindset. Noah was very meek, humble, even though he was the son of God. We don't really know the details, but he was called versus those that did have that stature.
Right.
And it's the same situation with us.
We're of less stature now too, as it says in
Second
Ezra.
5.
Right, but read that again, Baba Kashab.
It says. It says giant, large in body, but this is incorrect, for it means excellent, noble, skillful.
Boom. The men sons of God, like John Jones times 2 million, like John Wick style. Like nothing indestructible, just
Kicking ass.
And when you go down furthermore, it says fallers, rebels, or apostates.
apostates.
That's it.
Right
there.
Left their first estate.
Apostate. Man. I should come up falling away first.
Yep.
This is Baruch 3:26. It says, there were the giants famous from the beginning that were of so great stature and so experts in war. So just going into what he's talking about, it's not going into them being these giant. It's talking about their status. They were noble men. They were of great stature, as in, like, they were important.
Right.
You know,
Sons of
throw that
God.
out there,
Be like a LeBron James or someone today.
Right.
Exactly.
No different.
Right. The gods of their time. Moses is just basically giving you your legacy. Like, this is the first Gentiles.
Yeah, straight up, straight up. Yeah,
You know.
that's it.
Genesis 6 and verse 5, it says, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually."
Yep, now basically as we went into them partaking in those different customs,
Right.
those of the nations, versus what the Father set us up to do.
Right. Right. Can I read verse 6 in the NLT for you?
Okay.
This is Genesis 6 and 4. In those days, after some time, the Nephilites lived on the earth, the fallen ones basically, the men of renown. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times.
Man,
That was in NLT.
NLT. Yeah.
Nigga like Hercules, all these different legacies that they got out there. Basically,
Right.
it came back from that.
Right. Right. Right.
Stories that they
Yeah.
Shar, based on what you said.
Wow.
This is Judah chapter 16 and 7. It says, "For the Almighty did not fall." Excuse me. For the mighty did not. I'm gonna read this again. Judah 16 and 7. "For the mighty one did not fall by the young men, neither did the sons of the Titans smite him, nor high giants set upon him. But Judith, the daughter of Merari, weakened him with the beauty of her countenance." Talking about when, Judith cut off Holofernes' head, but it said the sons of the Titans. You made me think about that. Like, we talk about the Greek, the Greek mythology, but really, like, brothers go into all the time, like, that came from us being great men, like the sons of the power being great men, and they just kind of made up, stories,
Straight
from
up.
that.
Remix.
Yep, I got a precept. This is 2nd Esdras 7 and 48. "O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee."
Fallen.
And that's through Seth. All right, and eventually up to Noah. So Enoch was a part of that line. So
They're gonna show you how much more our women should be more humble.
right,
Because it's not about them.
Right.
It's the men hold the seed.
yeah,
Even though the sons of God had those heathen women,
Right.
they still brought forth mighty men.
mighty men. That shows you that the man determines the seed. Right there. And it shows you that this ain't no damn half angel, half man. Like if an angel came to earth, he's gonna be looking for some pussy.
Where the hoes at?
Yeah. Right, what a hoes at? The angel?
Where the hoes at?
And that's what, and the scriptures plainly go into that. You know what I'm saying? So all these fairy tales and all these different things, that people come up with, when you go and look into it, when you go into the Hebrew and go look up all the words you see. That's why you got these other groups that's offended by, no, y'all doing too much. If you can't speak it in English, no. That's what I'm saying. You think angels popping coochie in English. And that ain't what it's talking about. No. It's talking about the sons of God falling
Right, that's it.
and being redeemed. Stop,
That's
nigga.
it. That's the moral of the Bible.
You know, you got all these different precepts. I want to say you can't plant an apple seed and get an orange.
Right.
You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So an angel, I would say that'll be the Lord condoning adultery and all kind of. It's too much. It's too much. You know, like put the Bible down and step away. Drink some water, breathe. Hell no, man.
Right.
This is Matthew 22 and verse 29. It says, Yahawashi answered and said unto them,
That's who's drinking the Sadducees.
Yep.
And they give them that chapter. They basically had that conception of basically like the blanks. Basically, I was trying to correct them on that.
Yeah, they were trying to confound them. It says, verse 29, Yahawashi answered.
Basically, in simple terms, they didn't accept reincarnation. Okay.
Matthew 22 and 29, Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High in heaven.
Yep, and that's marriage. We already know marriage, according to the Bible, is sex. So angels not going to be going around having sex. That's
Right.
body not fashioned to do that.
Right. Now, the bodies we're going to get in the kingdom are going to be extraterrestrial because they're going to be made, because we're going to rule on earth.
Yeah.
So there's particular functions we're going to have. That because Yahawashi, you got to think, Yahawashi told us he go drink wine with us.
Yeah. Right.
So that lets you know that with that body,
Right.
you can drink. You know what I'm saying?
He already in that body waiting on us.
So there is going to be extra. It's going to be a whole man.
Yeah, like a hybrid to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That can be on earth and
Right.
All purpose body, baby.
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Right.
Now, to answer your point, going basically, Yahawashi told the disciples too, like, for everything y'all forsaken, you don't get it. And they said, wives, houses, and all those things. I would just better use those things.
Right.
You're gonna get it 100-fold.
It says their children and their children. And there's vision of children playing in the streets. Where them children?
Just popping up.
It's gonna be an upgraded body.
The highest one gonna turn into 1,000.
Right.
You know, the highest one gonna turn into 1,000, and all of them be like David. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
But Jake will get it out of that win. So sperm gonna glow.
Jake will say that.
You know what? It just might.
It just might.
I don't know.
We know not what we shall be.
I'll say first of all, you ain't gonna see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ain't gonna pull out.
That's a solid point. That's a solid point, bro.
So don't ask me no more.
How you gonna know?
Yeah, don't ask me no more.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We ain't even gonna see it.
Can I go? This is Deuteronomy 30 and 4, and points in verse 5. It says, If any of thine be driven out unto the uttermost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God, or Yahawashi, gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee, and Yahawashi will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
There you go.
Just laying back on the point, you know. We're going to be multiplying, reproducing, you know, under that new covenant.
Yeah, a new way.
Romans 11 will be filled. All that people shall be righteous.
Right.
Isaiah 60, a little one shall become 1,000. How you gonna do that if he can't produce seed?
Right.
All right. This is Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. It says, And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
So
And
it was basically bad. They were basically all engulfed in transgression by way of those women they were dealing with. You know, they basically were taking on the customs of other nations.
Verse 6, it says, And it repented Yahawashi that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
And he basically, the Lord was pissed off at the way we were acting. Some people was basically, the sons of God were not being sons of God. We weren't being an extension of the Father on this side. We were basically being likened to those lowly nations the Lord created for the service. Yep, niggas.
Check it this real quick.
Okay, boy.
2nd Ezra 15 and 5 and 6. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So, you know, this is obviously going into what's taking place today, but this is not the first time that, you know, wickedness has exceedingly polluted the planet Earth. You know, we're reading about it right here in Genesis 6.
You can get Surah 40 real quick. Surah 49 real fast, and you get back. We'll finish it up. With verse 49 and 10.
Sirach chapter 40 and verse 9, it says, Death and bloodshed, strife and the sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, those things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood.
So wickedness exceeding through the earth. That's why the Lord finna basically redo, just reset everything, because of all this wickedness is being done on the planet Earth.
Beautiful precept.
Yeah, that was a nice little.
Yeah, exactly.
In a fight like that'll knock a nigga down.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Take it back Genesis.
No, you-
Oh, Sirach or Genesis?
No, Genesis.
Okay, Genesis chapter 6 and verse 7. And it says, And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them.
Yep, so that's basically talking about the Lord getting ready to flood. Basically flood planet Earth. And now we're gonna have that second, that was the first death. The second death is gonna be fire. Where the ice will be nuclear warheads and chariots and big rays of light. And the Lord is gonna have an elect, which the elect back then was Noah and his sons and their family. Versus now the elect is gonna be actually his men. He's gonna continue you know what I'm saying, basically everything through that second covenant. You got it. It's basically he's in verse 8.
Yeah, that's verse
Yeah,
8. We're on verse 8 right now.
Yeah, get verse 8.
Genesis 6 and 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahawah Yahawashi.
That's the same thing the elect is gonna receive with grace and mercy. You know, the Lord is gonna basically look past our shortcomings and basically have Yahawah's blood be the sacrifice versus our own blood being the sacrifice.
Right. Right. Yep.
Sirach 44 and 16. Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations. Verse 17 is the point. Noah was found perfect and righteous. In the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant onto the earth when the flood came. You know?
Yeah.
When you go into that word exchange, you can translate that to a kapar, which is ransom. You know what I'm saying? Like an atonement to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah 43 pretty much says the same thing, how the Lord used Egypt as a ransom for the righteous to be able to get out of it. The same thing applies to this day. The Lord's going to allow these wicked to accumulate a tab, that way that they'll die and the remnant will be delivered. You know, that's that balance.
Yeah.
But that word ransom is going to be there for exchange.
Right. And all things on earth are dependent on Adam through his descendant Noah. Everything is through him.
And Noah was that comfort.
He was
you know
that,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
That way made it through the flood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You need Adam. To get Noah, you need Adam. Adam, you know, he brought that through. And Seth, who had Enos, and then began men to call on the name of the Lord. So that was our order to proclaim the Lord, And damn.
Man, that's heavy.
We fell.
Ezekiel 14 and 13. We're going to read 13 and 14. It says, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it.
So that's the Lord done countless times different nations for their transgression. But the Lord always had left remnants of men that he was dealing with alive, and made a way for him to be sustained to those times.
Verse 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahawah Yahawashi.
So the Lord basically gave them grace and mercy. So that's basically likened to what's coming for the elect. They're going to remain, even though the Lord would have nuclear fire be done all the way through Babylon the Great.
Right.
We'll be in a chariot watching this place be destroyed while we're in a chariot. Basically, the Lord passing over, you know what I'm saying, us, and then going and judge America. All these people down here.
Right.
Yeah, that's scripture say Isaiah the first chapter. The one for that remnant, we would have been like on the side of the Gomorrah, the Lord would destroy us.
Yep.
You know, and Obadiah also mentions saviors with an S, so it's plural. So that remnant, that 144,000, those are those saviors on the nation of Israel as well.
Mark it out.
Then you have the large multitude. But I got a precept. This is Genesis 7 and 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for in thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. And the precept to that is you shine as lights amongst this crooked and perverse generation. What's that?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. 2 Peter 2 and 5. Damn, y'all some bad boys. 2 Peter 2 and 5.
2 Peter.
Crooked and perverse. Who said that? 2 Peter. He was sure too. God damn. God damn.
At least it was the second chapter.
Yeah.
It's all good. He was there.
was a turnover. Where we at?
Philippians 2:15.
Oh, Philippians 2:15. Yeah, get Philippians. Let's get it. Let's get it.
This is Philippians 2:15. It says that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of the Most High.
Start over.
All right, come. Philippians 2:15. It says that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of the Most High, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
That's ultimately what's happening to the elect. We're going to be justified. And basically, this nation we're in right now is the mother of harlots and abominations. It's the most wicked nation that's ever been the world on planet Earth. They took on all the customs of the heathens and made it compiled into one.
Right. Right.
Daniel 12 said he's going to turn them into righteousness.
Right. That scripture that says zealous of good works, like that was Noah.
Yep.
He was zealous to build the ark. So we're you can tie all of our forefather stories to what we got going on. You know, in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
Even Enoch, his righteousness led to him.
Likewise, now it's like we're just all you got spiritual going to it too. Basically, like the spirit, like they now the truth, like the spiritual art. People outside the truth, they're not inside the art. So they're liable to get judged.
Yeah.
The times that we're in. You better read this.
Luke 17:26, it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. You know, and like we're reading, if I can add, like we're reading in Genesis 6, the sons of God, you know, are in that category. You know, given in marriage.
Right.
You know.
So showing you is not. It said men and women were doing these things, bro.
They were unconcerned. I put that short up today. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, but I was scrolling shorts and then I saw it. I was like, God damn.
These people are unconcerned.
I'm famous.
With anything besides gratification of the flesh, man.
Right.
You made the mention. You said NASA came out and said there's UFOs and we don't know what it is.
Right.
And you said these people just kept eating sandwiches. It's like nothing. That shows you there's nothing that can happen that to make these people consider.
Right. Nah.
And the sons of God was on that same wavelength. They were like, man, fuck it, I'm doing me.
And Noah was preaching Hebrews 11.
Oh yeah, he preached of righteousness. See, that's not true of righteousness.
Yeah, we got to get that too.
Cities be waste. He condemned the world.
Right, he condemned the world.
Yeah, as he's looking for that, it makes me think of the account where the bro in New York, Yahawashi, seen all those fiery chariots passing by. It was dozens of them. You know, and he's looking at it. There's people that's around because I asked him, and I was like, bro, what was the people saying when they seen it? They was like, bro, they kept walking. One of them was like, oh my gosh, the aliens, and laughed and just walked away. He was like, damn. He was like, bro, they didn't give a fuck,
shit, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
oh my goodness,
straight up.
Yeah, that's that McDonald's.
Bro. Yeah.
Eastern.
Where's people know it's going?
Huh? Yeah. Wherever you find it.
Hebrews 11:7. But by faith, Noah, being warned of the most high things not seen as yet, moved with fear.
Right. So we were warned about things. We've seen the visions, and we're going into the prophecies. We know what's going to happen. So now we're like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. So that's when the Lord showed Noah, like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, he probably saw it in a vision, like, oh shit.
He probably put it smack dab in the middle of it too.
Yeah, man.
Maybe on occasions felt a raindrop here and there, just as that warning. Like, shit. What the hell was all shit?
So that's where. So him seeing that and being open to that understanding led him to moving in a particular, you know.
Right.
I got that preacher right
Yeah,
there.
they would.
Yeah, you got it.
Need a order.
This is 2 Peter 2:5.
2 Peter 2:5.
And spare not the old world, but save Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Preacher of righteousness.
That's plain on tables right there.
Right.
Prophesying, man.
Right. Right.
Yeah, well, if you look at where righteousness is mean doctrine.
Right.
Preacher of righteousness, preacher of doctrine.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be a particular doctrine that's
Right.
going to be brought to the earth.
Right.
That's going to save. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's many doctrines out there.
Right.
But this doctrine is about righteousness.
Right.
So they're going to the doctrine.
Right.
It's all about prophecy. That's the centerpiece of the doctrine. Because at that time, Noah was telling everybody, "Hey, the Lord is about to flood this place."
Right.
And we saying, "Hey, the Lord about to flood this place with fire."
Right.
So that's the main part of the doctrine. The Lord is about to destroy this place on fire.
Yep.
You're right.
Right.
And don't nobody believe it.
Yep.
In that time, they only knew the dew from the earth. No one ever saw rain. So in this same time we in today, nobody ever seen a bunch of missiles hitting one country and wiping out the country. So they don't believe it.
Nobody ever seen a country destroyed in one fell swoop.
Right. Meanwhile, when you watch the news, they showing all these different countries doing
Right.
missile testing and
Right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they can see it, but
Right.
they keep eating sandwiches.
Right. The sound. Now I got a precept to link to what Elder Bond just said. This is about the doctrine. Wisdom of Solomon 9:17. In thy counsel, who have known, except thou give wisdom, and send thy Holy Spirit from above. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom.
Hey, also wisdom teaches
Yeah.
the flood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they knew
Yeah.
till the flood came.
Right.
So wisdom teaches too.
Yeah.
Through wrath.
Yes.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sodom and Gomorrah was an example of how not to be.
Right.
This is what's gonna happen if y'all do that. Now everybody can get married.
Right. Right.
What was that again?
That was that was Wisdom of Solomon 9:17.
Yeah, you can marry animals and all kind of things nowadays, and it's cool. But that judgment's still coming. You know, just because you've been given the so-called green light to destroy yourself, like that's what I'm saying. You gonna be destroyed. It's just that simple.
17 and 18. Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon 9:17 and 18. But y'all got it. We only got so many more scriptures. I mean, y'all pretty much just broke it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically going like the generation of it.
Yeah.
I want to add a quick precept on what y'all were saying real fast.
Proverbs 14:26. And the fear of the Lord is a strong confidence.
So basically, believing what the Lord is ready to do is moving us to, compelling us to, you know what I'm saying, to be obedient. To actually obey what the Lord is doing because we actually believe the things, the judgments, and the stuff we're ready to do. Yeah.
It says, and the fear of the Lord is a strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge.
Just like Noah did. Likewise, we're following the same path he's going. But yeah, that last one, I mean, that's basically.
Kind of. Genesis 6 and 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Yahawah Shem Yahawashi.
So basically, he moved in a way that was pleasing to the Lord. So that's what made the Lord be pleased with him, and he got shown grace. And it also says he was just, so he was justified.
Right. Sure, the Lord was with him.
He was justified by grace. Faith.
The Lord was with him. He offered up a righteous sacrifice. Yep. Now, one other point here is Son of God ain't always associated with somebody in the heavens. Now, we do have the example in Job, where somebody can get that.
Job 1 and 6?
Yeah, just get that real quick. And then, yeah, you can get it's a few examples because the Son of God is always really is tied to obedience when you get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You'll see. Whoever got it.
Job 1 and 6.
Yeah.
This is Job 1 and 6. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
So there you go. That's one example. In the heavens, you have sons of God. All right. Now on earth, Romans 8 and 14. As many as are led by the Spirit, they are the sons of God. So that's on earth. All right. Solomon was called the son of God. Yahawashi is known as the son of God. They were on earth. So just because you see and hear son of God, it's not always talking about somebody, an angel. Now, that is in one aspect of the son of God, but as we see, there's different examples, you know.
Right. Those men that walk with the Lord.
Right.
Alcohol precept?
Right. Yes.
This is Sirach 2:1, and it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." So right there, the Most High is already acknowledging that He's going to put these temptations on you.
Yeah.
He's going to also help you.
Right.
Because He's already called you my son.
Right. 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 He made us subject to hope. You know.
And that precept you quoted earlier, the Philippians 2:15, being lights in the world, it says that you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God.
The sons of God in a crooked and perverse generation. So son of God ain't always associated with an angel. That's another aspect you can hit people with too. You know?
I got one too.
Yep.
This is St. John chapter 1, verse 12. It says, "But as many as received him," I'm starting at verse 11, "he came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name." So you said earlier, it's tied to obedience. You know, so those that are obedient, obviously got to be an Israelite, you know, but you're obedient unto what the Lord said. We're becoming sons of God, and that starts here.
That's it.
You know?
And the final one, Hosea 1:10. "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it came to pass that in the place wherein it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall it be said, Ye are the sons of the living power, the sons of God." And that's through obedience, you know. So. Oh yeah.
This is Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 8.
So you that guy. Okay. Hey, there's always that guy. Tazama, you know. He took the torch. You know. What is it though?
Hebrews 5 and 8.
5, okay.
This is concerning Yahawashi. "Though he were his son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered." Going back to the point, we're classified as sons through obedience.
That's it.
Because in our law, if you had a disobedient son, he is no son.
There you go.
That's why it says kiss the son also.
Kiss
too.
the son.
That means being obedient.
Right.
Yes, sir. Mic drop.
So that's you know, those are, once you get those down and in your arsenal, you can pretty much deal on that topic. Because how they gonna get around that?
Call you a complete demon, call
They'll call you a racist. So that's it. That's it. Shalom.
That's basically the point on Genesis.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
We're gonna run out of precepts because they lying.